What's up guys, Hyun here. So today I just wanna talk about the story. I did this story like by the way like 3 days ago or 4 days ago. So I'm just doing the review now so I can basically think about like the story itself, and I even like watch the whole story again offline, and I basically like experienced the story 3 times because I also edited the video that I did for the story quest. So this video is probably gonna be out after the story quest. So make sure you guys watch my reaction for the chapter 2 for season 2 in Zenless Zone Zero. It's a very fun quest. But today I wanna talk about my review on the whole story itself, and I wanna talk about like the stuff that I like, the stuff that I dislike usually, and then yeah, mostly the story itself. What do I think about it? Especially the storytelling, because I would say it improves a lot. So, you know what? Without further ado, let's get into this. Like, comment, and subscribe by the way, and comment down below what you think about the 2.1 story, and you know the stuff that you like. Rate it out of 10. First of all, the characters. Let's talk about characters. Shot right now, who's the character that you really like on 2.1? On 2.1, my favorite character is probably Yuzuha. I didn't expect Yuzuha to be. I mean, I already expect Yuzuha to be like one of those characters like Nicole, where they're like memorable, right? But I didn't expect Yuzuha to be this memorable, especially on the story itself, which is like how they implement her character in the story is so good, and I didn't expect like her backstory and how it connected to like Alice's backstory also, which is super crazy, and the coincidence is crazy. Of course, like you know, it's the writers like lot itself, so it's like it's not really coincidence, but in the story itself, it's a coincidence. But I really like her story, and she made the story a lot better for me, which is honestly I didn't expect. I expect her to, like I said, I expect her to stand out on the story, but I didn't expect her to stand out this much, that like her character is so deep. I thought she's gonna be just like a Nicole situation where of course we all know Nicole have like a sad backstory, but they didn't really tackle it in like the main story itself. But this one, they really tackle it in the main story, and they show you basically the two main character. I wouldn't say Minato is the main character in the story right now. I would say it's more like Yuzuha and Alice, the main character of the story for 2.1. So that's why like the connection between them is so good. Jokes aside, I love Alice. Oh, you guys like Alice on the story. PC or an NPC, any character honestly. But yeah, I really like Alice. Let's now talk about not Alice but Yuzuha. Now let's talk about Alice. Alice is also one of those characters that I didn't expect that I would like a lot. I already like Alice without even like knowing anything about her. I only know she knows Lucy, so I know already they're like both of them are gonna have like a dynamic to each other. She's gonna be like a noble-esque character, not comparable to like Lucy, because Lucy is kind of like more on like what's this, like a rebellious noble child or something. But Alice, I expect Alice to be more refined, and it shows. But also, I didn't expect how sad her situation is. Like having no dad, and also having her like grandpa being sick, and also her family going down the drain. I mean, they're still wealthy, but in like I guess in like the whole circle, the noble circle, they fell off basically. So I didn't expect that to be that deep, or like to be that sad. And like the connection between Yuzua and Alice is also like I didn't expect that. I see also the parallel, which is so cool when like you know, spoiler alert, Yuzuha, when Yuzuha is like down below the vent, and then Alice in the top, like the symbolism and stuff, and also like the symbolism of like her father with Alice's father and Yuzuha saving them or like Izuha saving them, and then like Alice's father saving Izuha, like just the it's basically like the cycle of like favors or something, which I really enjoy and I really like. And what else? I think that's mostly about Alice. Oh yeah, Alice combat really good, really good. And the dynamic between all the characters is actually like is such a big thing for me that they nailed it so much. It reminds me, like their dynamic reminds me of like cutting hair so much, because there's like jokes here and there, there's like bickering here and there that is so funny. The dialogues, like literally the dialogue are so funny. Like the dynamic between the characters, it's like I said this before and I will say it again. Spokeshak is basically like cutting hair, for season 2, because we won't see like cutting hairs in like a different area. Of course, I mean, we're gonna see them, especially in the summer event that I'm gonna do after this. And by the way, I'm streaming right now, twitch.tv/New Live. And yeah, I consider them basically like the cunning hairs of like season 2, and the dynamic really shows that. And the quest itself, I really like how like the devs or the writers connected like the story itself on the main story, because I already know the 2.1 story itself is supposed to be a special program if they they continue with the same pattern they did on season 1. This is basically like the 2.1 story quest is basically like a special episode, but they said it on like the dev talk where they're just gonna connect the special program to like the main story, because it's more, how should I say this, like it's more good in the storyline itself. They already connect the special program to like the main story slightly on like season 1, so why not just do it on season 2, which they did a good job of, especially since like it's a story about Alice and Yuzuha. And then they also connected it to like the main story where, like, spoiler alert again, like the memories of like Yishuan being stolen, and then we have to fight this I forgot, I cannot pronounce this name, but Unfotamable. Oh my god, don't let me like pronounce that word. But yeah, that last boss. And they also connected it with like the ongoing storyline of like the Obo squad, like the overseer, the Exaltis going in the background, and how Exaltis is connected to like the Persulumex. Basically, like it's nice to see that, and also see like the backstories of like the main characters that we are joining into the whole scheme stuff or the scenario, which is I really like. And like a lot of people said, it reminds this story of 2.1 reminds them so much of like 1.4, and or like the past quests basically for season 1. And I can see that especially on 1.4, because I saw the 1.4 story again just yesterday, and I literally like skimmed through it, and I can see why they think it's similar to it, because we talk about like Miyabi on 1.4, like her backstory, we learn more about her, and then there's like action next to it, character development also, which is honestly so peak on 1.4, and then like the ongoing like back-to-back cutscene, which is so good. And yeah, I would actually compare this to like 1.4. Of course 1.4 is still better. I wouldn't say 2.1 is like on the top of the tier now. No, I feel like 2.1 also have their like few criticism that I can make, but that can wait for now. I will talk about that later. And storytelling is 100% so good. 100% so good. Compared to like 2.0, they improve a lot on the storytelling, and especially like the highlight for me to the quest. My highlight for me is like the vent, because it reminds me so much of how they tell the story on 1.2, the Tour de Inferno, where we literally like did the Tour de Inferno. We literally raced through like the bike, right? It's like that kind of like storytelling. It's like a highlight to me, like that, the venting. And we didn't even like use it only one time. We use it like, from what I count, we use it like 3 times in the quest, which is I thought they're just gonna do it like once and then they're not gonna do it again. But they did it like 3 times, which is it's a fair amount, of course. It's not really a worthy of praise, but give attention to it because honestly, if this kind of exploration storytelling is something that they're gonna tackle in the future of the storytelling for Zenless, I feel like it would work, you know? I mean, they can still work with like the TV mode also. They can still put some TV mode here and there if they gonna revamp it and make it better. But we will see that in the future. We're not gonna talk about that for now. And speaking of storytelling, especially on the TV mode stuff, they also added like the Bangbo event, like the Bangbo Marcel thing, where we like use Eos as a like a platformer. They haven't done it since they released that thing, like that system. They didn't do it on 2.0, didn't do it on 1.7, I think. They didn't do it on 1.6. They also didn't do it in 1.5, and I think that's most of it. On 1.4, they also didn't do it. I feel like since they released that Marcel thingy for like the Bangbo platformer thingy, they didn't really use it on the story. They only use it to replace the TV mode on like chapter 1 or prologue to chapter 1 to chapter 2 and 3. They replaced the TV mode using that. But we didn't for people that already experienced the story or the previous story, we didn't get to experience that on the story itself until now, which is honestly they should do it more. It's such a good addition. It's just like it's a very fun addition. It's not really, how should I say this, it's not like those kind of events on what happened on 2.1 where it's gonna remove you from like immersion. It's actually add more to the immersion itself on the story, which is super nice. Kudos to Zenless Zone Zero devs for actually putting it now, and I hope they put it more in the future and just not leave it in the just do it one time and then they're not gonna do it again. Please don't do that, Zenless. Mentions first, honorable mentions, basically like the cutscene, good amount of cutscene. They increased like the comic strips also, the comics part, which is honestly so good. Again, the cutscene still is such a good cutscene. Still, the quality didn't go down at all. Still have the same quality to it, same bounciness, and I feel like they also improve a lot on the animation, especially with like the fight scenes, which is I like animations with fight scenes in it. I really like it, especially on Zenless. And then sound design still superb, especially like the enemy sound for that like the lady ethereal thingy, or like Yishuan memory boss. Like the sound design is so good. And also the sound design for the jester sacrifice. I really like the sound designs for that enemy too. Just some honorable mentions. And then let's now talk about the story itself. The story itself, I would say, it's a good story. Like the connection of like the back like the Yuzua and Alice backstory, and then like Yuzua being connected to like Exaltis being a human experiment, and also a nice touch of like Exaltis doesn't wanna do human experiment, but in the past they're still doing human experiment, like the sacrifice, right? It's still like a human experiment, but they have like morals where like they want the human experiment to be consensual instead of just doing it to people that doesn't want to do it. And that's why there's like a little detail there where Exaltis itself, or like the overseer group itself, ignore, or I guess it's not really ignore, but actually like kind of mad about like lore on like the past quest on 2.0, because he used the elevating water to basically corrupt these humans that doesn't have a consensual agreement that they wanna do this, basically. Because I mean, we know what Lores did. Basically what Lore did is like, trick them to drink this water, and they don't know what this water does. But the moral of Exaltis is that the human itself, or like the ones that they're gonna give this sacrifice, or like this corruption thing, I don't know anymore. They should they should be consensual agreement that they're gonna do this, and they also should believe on like the creator itself. I guess it's like it's kind of weird information. It's also very interesting because they have morals, but they do this bad thing. So I'm just like I don't know. That's also why, like, from what I remember, Exatis made the Persolumex stop the human experimentation. Because like it's weird. From what I remember. I don't know if I'm remembering it right, but they said like it's just like they rescue like Yuzuha. That's why like the backstory for Yuzo is like it's not really rescue, but they got her and they made the human experiment stop. So it's like it's kind of weird. Honestly, I don't know about the storyline. It's not weird where it's bad. I just like it's very interesting how like Exaltis works, or what they think about stuff. I don't know. It's just an interesting thoughts. And then also like the I really like the ending part where like they basically reveal that there's like 300 obscura throughout like the Wi-Fi Peninsula, basically meaning there's probably like 300 sacrifice like in the whole like basically the whole world of like Wi-Fi Peninsula. So like what should we do? There might be like 300 sacrifices that might take over us outside the like Hollow, and we all know sacrifice can exist outside the Hollow. So like damn, what are we gonna do? But also they also revealed that the defense force already located all the 300 obscura. I guess the only thing they need to do is like like not take care, but like like I guess destroy it. So like what is happening? Like I feel like the next patch is gonna be very insane based on like the build up that they did, but also it's kinda like that reveal in the end is kinda like not memorable for some people, I would say, because I feel like some people didn't connect the dots, especially since like the obscura part of the quest is just like how should I say, it's like a side thing, and the only reason why I remember this is because it's such a weird mention of like Belle saying like there's like a feeling of sacrifice on the obscure piece that Yuzuha have. So like this is just a tier end guess for the next story quest. I feel like we're really sure you're just gonna tackle a lot of sacrifice next patch. So I don't know I don't know what's gonna happen, bruh. Like literally. What else? I think that's it for the story. There's some plot lines that they can remove from the story. Like I still don't know about like the guy where like the guy that are gonna attack Alice like on the middle of the quest when you're like that guy is like spying on us. Like I feel like that can be removed on the story because it didn't really serve any purpose. I guess it served like a small purpose because like we got some information on what we're gonna do next, but also like I feel like that guy didn't really do much on the story, and like it's a very forgettable part. So yeah, and also I feel like it doesn't even deserve a comic strip on that part. So just my nitpick on that. So I guess that's it for the whole thing. My review or my criticism on the story itself, of course, like I said, it's not better than 1.4. And it's also, I would say it's not also better than 1.2, which is the Tour de Inferno. And the thing is, I really like Tour de Inferno. I feel like it's like top 2 on the story quest that we have in like Zenless. I 100%, I would 100% say that. I feel like this story quest or 2.1 would be comparable to chapter 3 of Victoria Housekeeping, because it's a build up to something that is big, and also a very big story plotline for the main characters itself, which is Yuzuha and Alice. I would put it like to the same level as chapter 3 on season 1. And I guess let's go into like the big criticisms that I have now. How should I say this? We didn't talk much about like the big bad guy, which is like Ferox on the story, which I kinda a bit sad about because we didn't know more about him. We do know that he's like a big like a big gun Persilomex, but also like I feel like they could make the villain much better, because I feel like it's just like a side antagonist on the whole story itself, and it reminds me so much of like the enemy from the prologue from season 1, and also reminds me of like the antagonist on like the special episode where 1.3, I think, the story on 1.3, the special episode. It reminds me of that, but it's not a hacker anymore, but a real life person. I can feel the stakes on it. Like there's like a big stake, but they didn't flesh out the antagonist itself, because I mean, of course, Exaltis is like the big bad guy in the story itself, but also I feel like Exaltis is not even the like the story itself. Ferox is like the main bad guy, but we learn more about Exaltis instead of what's the relationship between Ferox and the Exaltis. I mean, we already know that, but we didn't know it from his perspective. Also, we didn't know we didn't know anything like connection about Taps and Exaltis, because I'm still convinced that Taps is working with Exaltis. I'm still very convinced about that, and we didn't learn much about it. The antagonist is not fleshed out at all, I would say that. And I wish I could to see more about Yuzua's backstory, more on like the human experiment part, because they just said that Yuzua is like a human experiment and she has like antibodies and stuff about like corruption thingy, but they didn't really give us much about that. Because here's my thing, I feel like Yuzua is a big character on the story itself. Like it's like a big thing to be a victim of a human experiment. Yeah, right, it's like a big thing, but we didn't really get into it much in a much deeper level, because we are more focused on like the, I guess, like the drama aspect of it, which is like the Alice dad rescuing her, or like Alice dad's being dead and stuff, like acceptance and stuff with like the two main characters. It's still a good plotline. I wouldn't say you should remove it. I absolutely like it, but also I feel like there's like missing parts, especially on Yuzua's backstory, that I would want to get more of. I would say on the Alice part, I feel like it's enough, because I feel like Alice backstory doesn't really need to get fleshed out, because most of it is not that comparable to Yuzua's case, because Yuzua's case is like much bigger. Come on, like she's like like related to Exaltis. I mean, our big bad guy here is Exaltis, right? I feel like we can learn more about them, and especially on Tops itself, because mainly the people that are experimenting on like Yuzua is like Persilomex. So I feel like they can connect more or flesh out more on Yuzua's backstory. At the same time, it could flesh out more also on like Ferox's schemes, I guess. And I think that's most of it. I don't really have any more criticism about the story. I absolutely like it, and I said this before, it didn't feel like a 4-hour quest. It actually like took me 5 hours to complete the quest, 5 hours and 30 minutes, based on the raw videos that I did, and it didn't even feel like 5 hours for me. It just feels like 2 hours of like just pure story, no interruption. Even though I took a break, even though I took break multiple times, it's still like a linear story, which is super nice. And also the reveal of like the Obo squad, especially like the last member, which is Seed, which is so nice to see. Finally saw Seed, or Seed Senior design, because Seed is like, we still don't know the design of Seed itself, or like the pilot. So we finally saw Seed Senior, super good design. I got bamboozled though by the lower half, because the lower half is kind of like, I mean, I wouldn't say it's disappointing, it's just like lackluster basically. Like I feel like they could add more on like the lower part of the body. It's like how should I say this, like a bodybuilder, but it's just pure muscles, like mid to top, but like picking the bottom or the legs are just thin. How should I say this? She lowered my expectation a bit by seeing that, which I wouldn't say it's a bad thing. Actually, like I still like Sid. I wouldn't say Sid is like it took me out of the character or didn't like Sid anymore. I still like it. And also about like Sid's character also, it seems like it's not a far situation. It's like I still believe that since they said it on like the story itself, I still believe that Sid itself or the pilot is not inside Sid Senior or like the robot itself. I feel like it's like outside controlling the robot itself, you know. And he also like she also said like we have the same scent of his her kind. So it's like what? Like I'm still confused about that, but maybe we're gonna see the next story patch. But yeah, that's it for this review. I feel like I tackled a lot. Let's see the chat. Wouldn't a lot of backstory be locked in the agent story trust events? No, I guess so. I kind of agree with you that Durak, but also the trust event wouldn't go on details about Yuzua's backstory itself because I feel like that's not a trust event thingy to talk about, especially like asking what did they do to you or like what is your backstory, what did you experience. I feel like that's it's not even like a trust event. I feel like you're just giving traumatic like giving PTSD or like remembering like traumatic experience to Yuzuha now if they do that on like the trust event, you know. To be honest, I feel like Sid should be bulk out a bit. Yeah, I agree with that. To be fair, level 4 trust event Soldier 11 was where Soldier 11 breaking down, it was a very sad ours. I guess so. But I feel like Soldier 11's trust event is, I wouldn't say it did go much deeper on her story, but it did give a layer, you know? It just gave a layer, but it didn't go into like the story itself or her backstory. So I wouldn't say they should put it on trust event. I feel like they should just put it on like, since they're already tackling the backstory, and I would say the 2.1 story itself is like Yuzo and Alice agent story already. So I feel like it's already like, you know, flesh out, you know. I feel like they can still just add few, at least like 5 minute storytelling of those parts and stuff, and it could be like it won't change the story itself. But yeah, that's it for the review. I would give the story itself 8 out of 10. That's like a big number already. I feel like 8 out of 10 for me is like higher than average, I would say, or like much higher than average, honestly, much higher. But I would give it 8 out of 10. I really like it. I wouldn't say it's comparable to 2.0 because the thing is, even though 2.0 have a lot of like a lot of like mishaps or flaws on 2.0 story, I feel like the like 2.0 itself didn't affect my ratings that much, or those flaws didn't affect my ratings that much. That's why I would say 2.0 is still better than 2.1. But like this, like overall wise, 2.1 is much better than 2.0. I'm just rating this to like what I felt about it, you know, because there's still some like flaws on 2.1, but I would say it's so much better and so much better than what happened on 2.0, and they already fixed the flaws that what happened on 2.0 story. So honestly, kudos to Zenless Zero devs, especially for the writers, the programmers, everything, everywhere, the team itself. They did a good job. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe. I hope you like this review for the story. And yeah, I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Comment down below what you think. And yeah, see you guys later. Bye bye.